Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this week we talk about the president of Imagineering stepping down.
Avatar coming to Disneyland.
And we talk about dreaming up some new lands for the Disneyland Resort. Let's dive in. All right, and this is episode number 124.
Yeah, welcome back as always, everybody.
Welcome back. Another week has passed.
Yeah.
And we are alive.
We are.
Barely. We have barely made it, but we've gotten here.
We have, and we had one little crazy night this week.
Yeah, that was so bizarre. So we were a little worried here. So Maddie is turning 4 months in about a week.
Yes.
And so, yes, we know about the sleep regression. We've got some friends that have a little one who just went through it, possibly still going through it. We probably should check and see how their little one's sleeping. But we know about this. So we're kind of preparing ourselves, looking for the signs of it. And we kind of started seeing it. So she's been kind of getting a little distracted while she eats. Apparently that's a sign.
Yeah.
She kind of loses interest in her bottle, even though she only ate like half, right?
Yeah.
She has had a hard time kind of napping during the day sometimes, like fighting it really hard and then only sleeping for 30 minutes. So some kind of signs have been showing.
Yeah.
So this brings us to 2 nights ago. We go to sleep like normal, and Maddie decides to wake up about 10 minutes after she went to sleep.
Yeah, which is totally unlike her. Normally when we put her down for the night, like she's done.
Down.
And she sleeps anywhere between, I would say, 9 to 10 hours
9 to 10
every
hours.
night.
Yeah, so that's been nice.
Yeah.
But that night, for some reason, she woke up 10 minutes later. So we're like, that's weird. Maybe she just got startled awake or something. I don't know. Caitlin goes and puts her back down, wakes up another 5 minutes later. And this happened multiple times until about 1:32 in the morning.
She woke up every 10 minutes on the dot.
Yes.
And she woke up sad, which is totally not like her. Normally she wakes up, she'll like talk and she'll play and she'll smile. She woke up like super sad and was crying.
Sad. Crying, like legit full on crying, which she, again, rarely does. So that kind of freaked us out. And we're like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
Yeah. So she finally, go ahead.
Yeah, no, finally went down around 3:30 in the morning and slept till
6:20.
Okay. So we got like, I remember looking at my watch, and it said we got like 5 hours of sleep that night.
Yeah. So I was curious because it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, we finally hit it. Like, this is the 4-month regression. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
And
Then
last
she
night, slept 9.5 hours. So I don't know if it was a fluke. I don't know if she just wasn't feeling it, but
some kids, I guess it kind of hits them off and on. That doesn't happen every single night. So I don't know. We're still trying to figure out what's happening.
Yeah.
But we so hope, but knock on wood, that she's maybe back to normal.
We'll see. I don't know. Don't say that.
I don't know.
Tonight,
I'm literally lightly knocking on my desk as we speak. But
yes.
Anyways, that has been our week. Worrying and me frantically Googling at 1 a.m. about how to get through regressions and all that good stuff. So if you have any advice for us, please let us know.
Yeah, and to top it all off, the time change was yesterday as you guys are hearing this.
Yeah, and so now we have to mess with an hour. This poor thing's going to be like, wait, I'm confused.
I know.
Do you want me asleep? Do you want me awake? What do you want? So get rid of the time change. I think this is a thing, right? It's a bill. I think it passed the House.
I don't know.
I think it just has to get passed by the Senate.
Something like that.
I think they've got bigger fish to fry right now, but pass it. No one wants this anymore. I don't want it. We don't need an extra hour of daylight.
No.
Or keep it on one. I don't care which one you pick. Just keep it on one. I don't want to switch all the time. Hey, before we dive into that news, please consider joining us over at Patreon, markethousepodcast.com/support. We actually have a newer episode over there for you guys. It is a breakdown of the Food and Wine Festival at Disneyland, or DCA, and the Flower and Garden Festival over at Epcot. So a deep dive on what to expect over there. Check it out at markethousepodcast.com/support. Also, please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Huge help to the show. Please share this episode with a friend. That also helps the show. Share it with the Disney fan. If you want them to be a Disney fan, maybe this makes it happen.
All right, first up, we have some news coming straight from the Imagineering department. It looks like the president of Imagineering, Barbara Busa, is going to be stepping down later this month.
Yeah, this was a surprise, kind of came out of left field. She said she's going to be doing something else, so maybe she got a new job opportunity. Good for her.
Yeah, something like that.
Must be big, because to leave like president of Imagineering's got to be a tough choice.
That's what I was thinking. Like, what could be better, honestly?
I don't know. She joined Imagineering in 2020 as president of business operations of design and delivery. What a title. and quickly rose the ranks to become president of Imagineering in December of 2021. Bruce Vaughn, who actually just recently returned to the Disney company, is currently the chief creative officer. He will be taking over until I'm assuming they find a replacement, because him taking over would either they're eliminating the position or he's taking a demotion, which I highly doubt that's happening. So I think he'll take over temporarily until they find someone to replace Barbara. All right, next up, we've got some news over at the Disneyland Resort. Mr. Bob Iger, the current CEO of the Disney company, announced an Avatar experience at some point. And actually, that might have been Josh D'Amaro that initially announced it months ago, saying an Avatar experience would be coming to Disneyland at some point in the future. Well, Iger just confirmed that this experience will be an actual land at the Disneyland Resort. Did not specify where in DCA or Disneyland, but a land at Disneyland Resort.
I think this is pretty exciting.
It is exciting.
But I have to say, I saw some negativity surrounding the topic on Instagram.
What's negative? Why?
Like, people are just like, that they shouldn't be bringing that to Disneyland. It doesn't belong here. And I don't really understand that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I get that either. It's a good land. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we should be happy with some improvements.
Right?
I don't know.
I didn't understand it either.
He was being interviewed at the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference. Sounds like a blast when he shared these new details. He also spoke about the large amount of IP that they can still tap into for park expansion. So sorry, all of you IP haters. I know that you want original stuff, but it sounds like Iger is going in the direction of we are going to tap into our movie IP and really drive it into the park. So,
AKA Encanto.
Yeah,
and
all that
turning
stuff.
around everything, yeah.
And this is a fun fact. Moana was the most streamed movie in 2023 out of all of the platforms. Out of Netflix, HBO, doesn't matter. Disney, Moana was the most streamed of last year movie.
Okay, so this doesn't surprise me because as I was putting on like Disney music for Maddie the other day, I saw one of the Moana soundtracks on YouTube, like the Vivo version.
Yeah.
It has a cajillion billion views.
Really?
Like I think it's like 50 something billion views or something like that. Like something absurd.
What?
I'm not kidding. Don't quote me on the number, but I know it's in the billions for sure.
Dang.
And that's insane to me. Moana. I didn't know it was that popular.
I mean, it's a big movie, but yeah, I guess its staying power is pretty impressive. So again, I don't know if I can blame Disney for wanting to capitalize on that. I know we're kind of rolling our eyes at the live action remake and Moana 2, but when you see that data, you kind of go, okay, Disney's here to make money. They want a guaranteed slam dunk. This is probably it. And with that Avatar news, he's using some pretty concrete language. So I'm not sure if this is contingent on Disneyland Forward. I know some folks were talking about that. He's using it. He's saying it's coming, whether you it's coming.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I don't think he would be using that language if it was, again, up to the Anaheim board of whatever, the city council to approve Disneyland Forward. So my assumption is this is being developed on existing park property or an area they know for sure they can expand into, unlike Disneyland Forward. So they're talking about taking over parking lots, blah, 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 rezoning. This is going, I don't know if they expand it. Like Galaxy's Edge took over like admin space. I think they tore down an admin building in the back and warehouse stuff. So this might be the same thing, or it's taking over an existing land. We're not sure. But again, I don't think it's dependent on Disneyland Forward with how he's presenting it.
Do you want to know where I think it's going?
Where?
I literally think it's going to be taking Pooh Corner and just reaching back there.
Critter Country, you think?
Yes.
Really?
So I think they're going to get rid of Hungry Bear, Pooh, which is so sad, and then Pooh's Corner.
Okay.
And I think they're going to put Avatar back there.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, if it's anything like the Galaxy's Edge where everything's like up in the air, it's one of those things where Avatar would blend in with that if you put all that up side by side.
It's a good point. Yeah, I can see that happening. All right, and our last news story is that the Inside Out 2 official trailer was released on Thursday, May 7th. We have watched it, and we're going to share our thoughts. Hopefully at home you had the chance to see this. It's like 2 or 3 minutes long, so pause this if you want. Go watch it really quick and come back and join us. But again, we had a teaser trailer that was released 4 or 5 months ago. This is the official trailer, so it shows a little bit more of the movie. It looks good. I'm a little worried.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I'm like excited to see it, but I'm worried that it's just going to be one of those things where it's just not going to turn out very good.
That and like it wasn't absolutely necessary. I think the first one was great as a standalone movie. I think all of us are talking about these sequels. Do they need to exist? All this stuff. I don't know. I think I like the take on it, right? She's getting older. She's a teenager now. It's more complex. Her emotions aren't as simple as they used to be. I get it. I kind of like the concept. But what's kind of bothering me is that Disney totally messed over Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling, and I can tell like the voice different. Like when they showed the voices of what is it, Fear and Disgust.
I think so, yeah. It's just so different.
It's different. I like the OG. Like it's recent enough to where people are gonna notice. So the fact that they didn't offer them a decent contract, if you don't remember, I'll briefly talk about it. But Disney basically offered them nothing, cents on the dollar of what Amy Poehler is making. And again, these people are making absurd amounts of money. Yes, would you and I take it at home? I think they're offered like $100,000-$200,000. Yes, we would, of course, for 3 days of work. But
when you think about how successful the first one was, you're kind of like, really?
Yes,
That's it?
And that their co-star is getting in the millions. I forgot what it was, but it was something absurd compared to their salary. And so I totally understand that they're like, no, we're not going to be a part of that. You're going to short us. Like, we're not doing it. But Disney, like, pay up. You got the money. Like, come on. And this movie is going to do really well. So I don't know if it was a pride thing. I don't know what happened, but I noticed the difference, and so I'm a little bummed about that.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we're excited for it to come out. We definitely cannot wait to watch it, but we just hope it does at least somewhat well.
All right, and that brings us to our main segment of this week's episode, and that is dreaming up lands for the Disneyland Resort.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
I'm excited. So with all this talk about an Avatar land being added to Disneyland, we thought it would be interesting to come up with some other potential lands that Disney could add to the parks. We've made a list of these lands, but this is the deal. You have to replace existing lands. That's the fun part. So if you have to come up with an idea that is better, that you think is better than what's already there.
Which is extremely difficult.
Extremely difficult. I thought this was a good twist because we could all dream up some space for Disneyland Forward. That's easy. It's a blank canvas. That's way easier than this. We're going to have to really justify why we're replacing the existing land with this new idea.
Yeah, and as always, this is just for fun. We're not like coming at these popular rides being like, these stink, we're getting rid of them.
Half
this
of
is
them
just
we
for
like
fun.
a lot.
Yeah.
We're just having to make some hard decisions.
Yes, exactly.
That's what makes it fun. So we're starting over in Disneyland, and unfortunately, we're going to have to take... Oh, sorry, really quick before we dive in. This is a joined effort. Caitlin and I both made this list. We have 3 lands that we're going to be replacing with some other ones, and we worked on this together. It was a group project.
I loved it. It was fun.
I mean, I felt like I pulled my weight a little bit more. I think you
always do amazing.
I think I really just carried this team.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Do you remember that in school, though? Having to do a group project, and maybe there was maybe you were that person, but you didn't really contribute a lot.
No,
or someone didn't.
I go back to 6th grade for my science fair project. I got teamed up with this kid, and he didn't do anything. And we ended up getting first place. It was like, you know how you like grew the little beans in the bags to like sprout? And it was like talking about natural gas and stuff.
Okay.
Well, we ended up getting first place in the science. And then he was like stood there next to you on the stage and took the ribbon. I remember I was so upset.
Did you make it known? Did you say, this man does not deserve one?
No.
Oh.
But I remember telling him, okay.
You want to know something I did?
What?
That was pretty, I don't know. Looking back on it, was it irresponsible? Maybe. But in middle school, I went to a like charter school. So it was like semi-private-y kind of, it was a small school.
Yeah.
So you did a lot of things like I don't know why I said that. It was a Montessori school. So like it was done differently, blah, blah, blah. So middle school, whatever. So I think our 7th and 8th grade projects, both years, you had to create a roller coaster, design a roller coaster and create it using like these foam tracks and stuff.
Okay.
With your team. It didn't have to be foam tracks, but that's what a lot of people use, are these foam cutout things, whatever. So you had to design it, name it, and talk about the physics of it and blah, blah, blah. And then you would take these roller coaster models, you would take them to Great America in the Bay Area, and you would compete in this big competition against other schools, and then you got to go ride rides for the rest of the day.
Okay, are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
I grew beans in a bag.
Well, let me tell you about my roller coaster experience. So I was teamed up the first year, fantastic. Loved my team. It was awesome. I got along with all my friends. It was all my friends on the team, whatever. Ugh. We did it. Great. Fantastic. My second year, I was teamed up with some buffoons, let me tell you. And they like weren't wanting to work on it. We ended up going to my friend's house to like work on the project. They just wanted to mess around and play video games the whole time. And so I got super frustrated and I was like, I'm not getting a bad grade because you like jokers don't want to work.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going off on my own. I'm going to make my own team. And I literally told my dad, I said, hey, my dad was like, dude, get off that team. We'll do it together. And I was like, all right.
Can you even get off the team though? Isn't it assigned?
It was assigned. Maybe we made a compelling case. I don't remember. But me and my dad, maybe have forgotten about it. And I told him the day before, like 2 nights before it was due, and I was like, I think my coaster project's due in a couple days.
You think?
Yes.
Oh no.
So we did a rush to Lowe's and Home Depot, what have you, and we made it. And I think we had to do like a late night. My dad ended up staying until like 1 or 2 in the morning to finish it for me, which I appreciated because we got a late start on it and we couldn't get something to work because we were using something and blah, blah, blah. So we had to end up, he shot like grease down this tube. And so it made the ride last, you dropped like the steel ball in it. It made it last like half a second. And so I named it Don't Blink because it literally was like half a second long.
That's catchy.
But it was so lame. You ended up going, it doesn't matter how bad it is, you still go on the trip. And so anyways, I got to go ride rides out of it. So.
The moral of the story is you had to make hard decisions.
I had to make hard decisions. Exactly. I had to cut it out, cut this stuff out, and put in a better ride. Okay.
Where did we just go?
I don't know. Enough of my tangent and my activities as a child. Let's go ahead and talk about our replacement. So we're starting over in Disneyland. And unfortunately, the first land that is getting the axe is Critter Country.
Which means Winnie the Pooh is leaving, unfortunately.
Stinking love this portion of the park. This was really hard for us, but we had to come up with a Disneyland idea. It doesn't make much sense to have a whole land dedicated to Winnie the Pooh. A Winnie the Pooh attraction.
Yeah.
And a Pooh store. And then I forgot about Hungry Bear, to be honest, when we were writing this. But that's
it. Yeah.
It's really small. I think Tiana's, is it official that is being absorbed by?
I believe so, yes.
New Orleans Square?
But again, don't quote me on that because I'm sure someone's going to say it's Critter Country.
I think all of us maybe assumed it is because it makes more sense. It doesn't make much sense in Critter Country.
No, because New Orleans makes the most sense.
So maybe it's not official. I don't know. At the end of the day, we're assuming it's going to be absorbed by New Orleans Square. So Critter Country is kind of a lost part of the park.
Yeah.
Lost land. So we're thinking this becomes Storybook Land. A land dedicated to princesses and their stories.
This is exciting. And for those who are like, well, there's already a fantasy land. Yes, but not really. Because there's like...
Wait, no, it is really. It is fantasy land.
No, because here's why. It's not just about that. Because our current fantasy land is all about Peter Pan.
Oh, no, you're saying it's not dedicated to princesses.
Princesses, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think you were saying like Fantasyland's not really Fantasyland.
Yeah. So,
I was like, I think it is Fantasyland.
I'm like, it's not.
We're tired, okay?
No. So basically, like when I think fantasy, I think princess. And that's always like magic and all that kind of stuff.
I think we're a little biased now since we have a little girl.
Especially.
Yeah.
So it's especially.
Indubitably.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I think it would be amazing. Because again, the new parks like the Frozen area and like Tangled. Is it in Hong Kong that's getting that?
Yes.
Or
Frozen?
Yeah.
I think
in
it's
the Tangled
Hong Kong.
area.
Yeah.
So that would be so cool just to bring to Disneyland over here. And I would love that. But again, there's no space for just princess. Like there's Fantasy Fair, there's meet and greets, but like other than like Snow White, like there's no princess areas.
Okay.
So this is why I thought that Storybook Land would be so like amazing to have, especially because we have a daughter. Yes.
Yeah,
but that would be amazing. So we have some fun ideas that we would incorporate into this land.
Yes. So the Winnie the Pooh ride would be replaced with a Princess Dark ride, showing the princesses and princes planning a royal ball. So you go through different scenes from the films, maybe. They're all planning in different spots. Maybe you bust in on, I don't know, Cinderella's house and she's like there with, no, not Cinderella. Maybe, who's the one with the birds? As you can tell, I haven't brushed up on my princess stuff.
A lot of them have bird friends, but like, you're talking about Snow White?
Yes. So maybe bust in there and like, maybe she's like hanging out with her bird friends.
Yeah.
And then the next you go into I don't know.
Then you go see Rapunzel.
Yeah, Rapunzel and Pascal. So you're going through and they're all planning this thing and they're all as a group contributing to this deal. And then the very end, the last scene is you're attending the ball with them.
Yeah.
With these princesses and princes. They're all there attending this very beautiful ball and blah, blah, blah. But this is where it kind of gets fun. It's a half-baked idea, okay?
I love the idea.
As you walk out of the attraction, where do you walk into right now? You walk into Pooh Corner, right? Instead of there being a store there, whatever, you walk over and there is a sit-down restaurant that features the princesses and princes. You're attending the ball that you just watched get planned in the ride.
Yeah, and then you're meeting all the princesses in there, which I think would be amazing.
Yes, and then I think it's like an upscale dining experience. Think, what's the one over in Disney World,
Beauty
Magic
and the
Kingdom?
Beast.
No, there's that one. And there's the
Akershus?
No, there's another one called, oh my gosh, it's in the castle.
The Royal
Yeah.
Palette or Royal something?
Think that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there's a show like with dancing and singing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it'd be perfect because right now, even though Tiana is a part of like New Orleans Square, Obviously, Tiana is a princess and one of my favorites that I might add. So it just fits to have a princess land right next to that ride. And I thought it was a really like great like idea when you thought of like, okay, you're going through the ride, you're getting the storyline, and to be able to continue that storyline in it with a dining experience,
right?
Disney would be like making so much money.
I know, it's a lot of synergy.
Yeah.
Well, that corporate buzzword.
Exactly.
But it makes sense. You walk into and go, oh my gosh, as a little kid gets to go, oh, we just helped plan this in the ride, and now I get to experience it with all these princesses.
And again, I think it'd be a great area just to have a ton of princesses where they're going to be at. Because right now they just randomly walk around. You can see them at Fantasy Fair. But other than that, it's kind of like do you remember when they had them at the theater next to Toontown? There was like a princess area back there.
Right.
Yeah, and they were all back there and you could meet a bunch of them.
Yeah, what happened to that?
They moved it. I don't know. But I don't know. I love the idea.
Okay, I like it. Thank you. Again, a little half-baked because I totally forgot about Country Bear. What's it called?
What about it?
No, the restaurant.
Hungry Bear.
Hungry Bear.
Yeah.
What do we do with that? I forgot about it. Just retheme it to something else.
Maybe we just leave Hungry Bear for history purposes.
This used to be something cooler. Okay, we'll just leave it. It doesn't make any sense to be there, but maybe the bear like tries to eat the princesses, but you try and fight them.
No.
Okay.
That's no.
Okay, let's move on to our next idea. Let's head over to Disney's California Adventure and start ripping out some lands over there. You know it needs it. So first up, we're going to be replacing Paradise Gardens with a Coco-themed land. And this will be called Santa Cecilia, which is the town Coco is from. Or, Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Mama Coco.
I love Mama Coco. This is such a great idea because, again, for those who don't know, during Halloween time, they create the Plaza de Familia over in that area. And it is one of our favorite areas to go over. There are so many just great things you can do with the family. It's really neatly decorated. You can see, what's the little parade that goes by? Do you remember the name of it?
I don't, but it's awesome. Miguel dances and sings. It's fantastic.
So awesome. But then they take it away. So I'm like, what better idea to keep that ongoing throughout the whole year?
Yeah. It's a good idea. And honestly, this place needs work. To remind you where this is at, this is Ariel is kind of the start of the land. As you walk down there, there's the jumping jellyfish. There's the swinging. What's it called?
Swinging swings.
Yeah, swings over there. You know what it is. And then
the Golden Zephyr's over there.
Golden Zephyr's over there. The Sunglass Hut is over there. The Corn Dog Castle.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Goofy
just
Sky School.
Weird. It doesn't belong there anymore. The theming's pretty terrible. It made sense V1 for DCA version 1 when it was supposed to be the boardwalk stuff. It doesn't fit there anymore, especially since most of DCA is like themed and everything to Pixar IP. Right. This is still kind of lost. So let's slap some IP on it since that's the direction that Disney's going anyways. At least let's decide what's over there. So this does mean that Ariel's Undersea Adventure is going to have a retheme.
Mm-hmm.
We love that ride. It hurts me. It hurts me to say it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt.
It just doesn't go there.
It doesn't go there. It doesn't hurt as much now because they ruined it kind of with Genie Plus.
Yeah.
Now there's a Genie Plus ride.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. So we think there should be a Coco Dark ride. I'd argue that you don't need to get too fancy with the ride. I would say just take us through a condensed version of the story, really, really featuring the amazing music of the movie. I know Tiana's is not out yet. We have not experienced it firsthand. I think people are a little nervous about how that story is going to go compared to the movie. I think people wanted a condensed version of the movie. That would have been just fine.
Yeah, because it's just so awesome.
Yes. I think the same thing for Coco. Let's not get crazy. Just do the movie in a nice condensed version, focus on that amazing soundtrack, and that'd be an awesome movie. I'm sorry, ride.
Yeah. And again, I think it's one of those things as well where like sometimes where we want like new and original ideas coming out, we just get sucked into just redoing the movie. We've already seen that 400 times. But I feel like with Disney's track record, I think that's where like room for error starts coming in. And like it doesn't go as well. And then what are they going to do? Retheme the ride 2 years later because no one likes it?
Yeah.
No. So I agree with that. I think that'd be an awesome way because the movie Coco is so good.
Yeah, it deserves a land at the very least, right? Or a ride somewhere. So this would be fun. This also means Goofy Sky School gets replaced. Again, being realistic, we can keep the track because Disney probably doing this on a budget. They're not going to want to tear down. They just rarely do that. They rarely tear down and do a total rebuild.
Yeah, it's not like Dino Land.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, Dino Land. So being realistic, we keep the track and make it where you ride the alebrijes from the ride.
Mm-hmm.
So those are those spirit animal things. So
like Dante.
Dante and what was that? A tiger?
I'm forgetting the name. Yeah.
A winged tiger.
Yeah. Which is in the Magic Happens parade.
Yes.
So pretty.
So you're able to ride those. And imagine at nighttime, like the track gets lit up, those
Mhm.
individual ride vehicles get lit up because those are all lit up in the day or the land of the dead or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun,
That would be amazing.
right?
Can you imagine all the lights?
That'd be fun.
It'd be so pretty.
And finally, that brings us to the eating area, which is the Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta and Paradise Garden Grill. This honestly can be left alone since they mostly have it decorated for Plaza de Familia. Again, add a little more themey maybe, and that'd fit better. But they already have a stage there where the Mariachi Divas, they're so good.
They're amazing.
You can keep all that the same. It fits perfectly in a Coco-themed land. For the other attractions, I don't know, honestly, those kind of carnival-like ones. Honestly, remove them. I don't think you'd miss them.
Yeah.
This sounds mean.
Sometimes you don't have to pack the area with things.
No, because it is pretty packed over there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you replace it. Maybe you use that. You replace some with small little shops, or you kind of tear down most of them and create one large sit-down Mexican restaurant.
That'd be amazing. Can you imagine the theming?
Right?
Oh my gosh! And honestly, just more seating. Because when you think of like, is it Corn Dog Castle?
Yes.
Over there,
there's like none.
There's nothing really over there, and the ones that are, they're kind of squished in the back by the fence that you walk through to get to Paradise Pier, or excuse me, Pixar Place. And so, yeah, I think that'd be great. But honestly, just overall. And not to mention, it's like, okay, it's Pixar Pier, Coco, obviously Pixar. That would mesh way better than just having Goofy Sky School in Sunglass Hut.
Yeah. So the Sunglass Hut gets so much hate because it's so like, it is so carnival or like state fair. Why do they have a Sunglass Hut booth?
I mean, maybe they thought it would be too sunny for people.
Come on.
In California. I don't know.
I guess it's opportunistic. People probably are like, my corneas are burning.
For sure.
Yeah. It's so weird. Maybe to make it Coco themed.
Coco glasses.
Mama Coco glasses.
I would definitely buy Mama Coco glasses.
I would too.
I love Mama Coco.
Instant sale.
I love her.
Our final retheme takes us over to Hollywood Land, everyone's favorite land in DCA.
This is the one that I'm most excited to renovate because that area is so confusing and frustrating. I don't even get it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So this is, if you go walk into DCA, you take an immediate left after walking down, what's it called? Buena Vista Street. You take a left and yeah, Hollywood Boulevard. It's pretty rough. So there's the Schmoozies over there. There's the animation building, Monsters Inc., the studio catering little weird booth thing.
Off the page is over there.
Yes, off the page is actually an awesome gift shop. You've got the big, really ugly Marvel shop. What is that thing called?
Oh, it's like, isn't it like Stage 66 or something like that?
Yeah, but I think they gave it another name, like
I don't know.
The Marvel Shop of Wonders or something.
Marvels of Doom back there.
Yeah.
And then there's Award Wieners, which has like the hot dogs. And then there's like a little cart that has like turkey legs and chimichangas.
Chimichangas. What's it called used to be part of this? The Guardians ride, but that has now been absorbed by
Avengers Campus.
So this is in dire need of retheming. We thought it would be fun to steal a little page from Epcot.
Yeah.
Think of edutainment. Think of that kind of stuff. And we're going to call this new land. Okay, we have two names for it. We couldn't decide.
Yeah.
Either I'm thinking like the Imagineering Center, or what'd you say? Like the Once Upon a Studio.
I liked Once Upon a Studio from the thing on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's short.
For the 100th anniversary.
I like it.
I think it's so cool.
Okay, so you at home think Imagineering Center, is that better, or Once Upon a Studio?
And again, this idea for this land is number one, when especially now that we have a little one, DCA doesn't offer a ton of activities and just things for kids, in my opinion.
They used to before they ripped out A Bug's Land.
Right. So it's one of those things where which we'll dive into in just a second, this is going to be an area where like the littles can thrive. There's going to be so many things for them. It's going to be colorful. It's going to be full of activities. And again, I love the whole thing, which is it's based off animation, which is what Disney was born off of.
Yeah, I'm thinking animation. I'm thinking Imagineering. How are rides built, right? Let's focus on that. Let's focus on how are movies made and hand-drawn animation, CGI, all of it covered in a land. Like you go there to, again, be entertained, but also educated. Some kids at home are like, boring.
I think it'd be awesome.
I think it'd be awesome. I want Maddie to be able to go get educated and also entertained at the same time.
Yeah, and this idea actually came from what's the building called? The Imagination Room or whatever?
Animation Academy.
Animation Academy. The Imagination Room. We just watched Wonka, so that's why.
The Imagination Room.
The Animation Academy, we love that room. We love that you can go in there and do Turtle Talk with Crush. They used to have the Beast Library. Like, there was just all these little hands-on activities, and above all, where you can go do animation drawings with cast members. That is so much fun. So to bring that core idea out and just create a land. So let's dive in. I'm super excited about this one.
Okay, so let's head over to Monsters, Inc. Again, this one hurts the most probably out of all this.
Oh,
We
for sure.
love that ride. And it's gotten super popular. The wait time has been nuts.
It's always like at least 40 minutes when we go.
Crazy. It used to be kind of the forgotten ride over there. But we're thinking we retheme this to kind of that Once Upon a Studio-like experience. So imagine that all the Disney characters are on the loose when the animators are away, and you kind of experience the hecticness of like all that IP smashed into one ride.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
Right? Imagine have you got like Raya interacting with Mike and Sully. You've got, I don't know,
Olaf.
Pocahontas interacting with Olaf. Like the most random hodgepodge but fun adventure.
And it'd be cool just to see them all in one location.
Right? I don't know. I think it sounds pretty fun. You replace the Studio Catering Company restaurant with like, I think, a Mickey and the Magical Map themed space.
Oh, see, that's amazing.
Right?
I loved that show.
That deserves more love and respect. We loved that show. It has gone away. I think it should come back. It was a really good show over there at the Fantasyland Theater. So I don't know if you have a little themed like food cart there in a seating area for the kids, but you got a big paintbrush. You've got, paint that spilled everywhere. You got a Merlin themed. I don't know. I think it'd be fun.
This last item is what I'd be most excited for, and we would be getting rid of the Marvel store. Again, we don't know the name of it, but we would be putting in an attraction, and we thought Living with the Land West Coast Edition would be amazing.
I think it'd be amazing. Again, I think we need to retheme it more appropriately to Imagineering and animation, but think of that kind of ride that, I don't know if it's a boat ride, I don't know if it's just a slow-moving Omnimover deal like Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
But you sit in it, and then you kind of get taught like...
It's educational.
Right?
Yeah.
I want more of that Epcot feel over here on the West Coast. So we didn't get Westcott like we expected. We got California Adventure. So maybe throw some Epcot-like experiences like this over in DCA. So that's it. Let us know what you like or dislike from our list here. Feel free to share your own ideas with us over on our website or Instagram. This was fun. We dreamed it up in a few hours. It did take longer than expected. Let me tell you, writing an episode with a little baby is fun, but also very difficult.
She's too cute to look
She's
at.
very cute. She'll like make a lot of noises and I get distracted and I look over and I play with her.
Sweet today.
And then she gets a little upset and then I go pick her up and then like, I've got 4 words written down. So it took a long time, but we had such a fun time doing it. Do this with your kids, do this with your friends, do this with your family. Sit down and try and dream up 3 lands that you would put in these places. I guarantee you'll have a blast. And try and agree on things. That's hard.
It's tricky. Because again, it's like when you start thinking about your favorites, like I would never in a million years say that I would get rid of Monsters, Inc.
No.
That would make me so sad.
But
Ariel.
You have to make those hard choices.
Yes.
All right. Try it at home. Let us know what you think. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us over on Instagram and Threads at Market House Podcast. Make sure to follow us over there for pictures from the park and exciting news and announcements. Please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. It is a huge, huge help to the show. You can leave 5-star ratings at both platforms and a written review on Apple. Share it with a friend. If you guys think you have a friend that likes Disney or you want them to like Disney, share this episode with them. Share any episode. We would be greatly thankful for that.
Yes, and actually, let's play a little thing here. If you've made it to the end of the episode, if you wouldn't mind going down and clicking the 5-star rating, I would love to see who could do that.
Okay.
Let's see.
Thanks.
All right.
Also,
we won't be able to tell who did it.
But it'd be awesome. We have a Patreon as well, markethousepodcast.com/support. You can find some extra content over there, and it's a great way to support the show. We love you guys over there. Thanks for supporting us. Remember to use our Getaway Today link for your future trip bookings. Check out the episode details for that link and use code MarketHouse10 to save $10. Join us next week for another episode. It's been fun. It's been planny. It's been Epcot-like. Bye.